The film unfurls with Amanda and Sasha, her co-worker and friend, standing amidst a mesmerizing photo shoot, basking in the beauty of the models, the lavish costumes, the enchanting lights, and the palpable energy that pulsates through the air. Soon, they make their way to a crucial meeting with their formidable boss, Jackie. Within the meeting room, Jackie inquires about fresh ideas for the upcoming products. One employee proposes hair color sticks, but upon catching a glimpse of Jackie's expression, quickly withdraws the suggestion. Another colleague, Daniel, proposes a lilac scent for the night cream, only to receive Jackie's critique that his idea is too safe, too conventional. It is then that Amanda takes charge, her voice steady and her gaze resolute. She and Sasha have toiled together on creating more natural, cost-effective products that align with their high-end brand identity. They have crafted a new line to replace the secondary ingredients in their core products with all-natural alternatives. Jackie's approval is swift, and she commends Amanda and Sasha for their ingenuity. Back at home, Amanda shares the news of her successful pitch with her mother over a phone call. As Amanda tends to her meal in the microwave, her mother asks about her well-being, urging her to take care of herself amidst her busy schedule. Amanda reassures her mother, denying any over-reliance on microwave meals. She inquires about her parents' time in Florida, reminiscing about the ocean breeze. Her mother invites her to join them for the upcoming harvest season, but Amanda hesitates, citing her workload as a hindrance. Just then, the microwave beeps, interrupting their conversation. Amanda bids her mother farewell, citing a doorbell ringing as an excuse to end the call. The following day, Amanda sets out for the company to present her new idea to the administrative team, only to receive a call from her Aunt Carol, who has injured her wrist and seeks Amanda's assistance on the farm. Despite her aunt's understanding nature, Amanda regrets that she cannot take time off due to her workload and apologizes. Undeterred, Amanda throws herself into her work, determined to win approval for her project. However, to her surprise, Daniel's idea is chosen after the presentation. Amanda confides in Sasha, expressing little surprise. But before Amanda can leave, Jackie requests a private conversation. Sasha departs, leaving Amanda alone with her boss. Jackie expresses gratitude for Amanda's efforts and assures her that her creative ideas will be acknowledged in due course. Touched by Jackie's words, Amanda requests a few days off for rest, and Jackie immediately grants her request, urging her to return with renewed brilliance. With a heart brimming with joy, Amanda sets out on the path to her beloved Aunt Carol's farm, having informed her of her impending arrival. Aunt Carol, overcome with delight, eagerly anticipates her niece's visit. She calls Amanda beforehand and asks her to pick up a few things from the store. Upon reaching the store, Amanda enters and inquires with grace about tinfoil, to which the kind vendor directs her. As she makes her way to the aisle, she finds the desired product, but her ex-boyfriend JP suddenly appears, leaving her bewildered and frustrated, not wanting to encounter him. Amanda stealthily maneuvers through the store aisles, concealing herself until she reaches the cashier in haste. However, the talkative cashier continues to prattle on about the store's discounts, and Amanda, flustered, hands her the money and even tells her to keep the change. In her haste, Amanda forgets her wallet, only realizing her oversight when the cashier points it out. Just then, JP arrives at the cashier, and they come face to face. Amanda and JP exchange greetings, with JP inquiring about her presence at the store. Amanda explains that she is visiting Aunt Carol, and in turn, she asks JP why he is there. JP reveals that he has been living in the area for 3 years now. Desperate to leave, Amanda pretends to receive a work call and hastily departs from the store. In the next scene, Amanda arrives at her aunt's farm, where Aunt Carol welcomes her with open arms and warm affection. Amanda is thrilled to see her aunt and embraces her tightly. Aunt Carol informs her that she has baked an apple pie for her, further heightening Amanda's excitement. They enter the house, and Amanda takes in the familiar walls, reminiscing about her cherished memories. She goes upstairs to unpack her belongings before quickly descending to the main floor, where Aunt Carol offers her a slice of the delectable apple pie. Amanda savors each bite, extolling its deliciousness, and reminisces about her and her mother's failed attempts at baking. They share a hearty laugh together. Amanda then asks her aunt about JP, and although Aunt Carol denies any knowledge of his presence, Amanda senses her aunt's evasiveness. She presses further, inquiring why JP has returned, and Aunt Carol reveals that he retired from football 3 years ago, but that's all she knows. Amanda finds the situation awkward and expresses her surprise at meeting JP again after all this time. She also asks Aunt Carol about her beau, Walter, and Aunt Carol confirms their relationship, albeit with a touch of confusion. Amanda agrees to Aunt Carol's suggestion of taking a walk, and they stroll together. As they walk, Amanda notices that something seems amiss with Aunt Carol, and she gently prods her to share. Aunt Carol reveals that she didn't just call Amanda about her injured wrist, but also has something else to divulge. She explains that she and Walter are growing older, and the long-distance relationship has become challenging. As a result, they have decided to sell the farm and purchase a house near the beach in South Carolina. Aunt Carol acknowledges that she understands the farm holds deep significance for Amanda and is laden with cherished childhood memories. However, she needs the money to pursue her dreams, and she implores Amanda to help her find a suitable buyer. Amanda is taken aback, her eyes filled with a mixture of surprise and sadness, but she hides her emotions and assures her aunt that she will support her decision and do everything in her power to make her happy. They embrace each other tightly, finding solace in each other's presence. On the other hand, JP finds himself in the company of his friend Chris at his store, engaged in jovial conversation. JP can't contain his excitement as he asks Chris to guess whom he bumped into today. To JP's surprise, Chris reveals that he has been waiting for this moment, eagerly anticipating the subject. JP is curious and inquires how Chris found out about Amanda's presence. Chris explains that April's sister texted Michelle, who herself informed him. JP is taken aback by this chain of events. JP further probes if there were any sparks between him and Amanda, but he denies it, describing the encounter as awkward and strange. Chris reassures him that such feelings are natural after not seeing someone for a while. Suddenly, JP receives a phone call, and he excuses himself from the store. The following morning, Amanda and Carol receive real estate brokers at the house. The first broker is an elderly gentleman who is captivated by the house, albeit mistakenly calling it the Peanut House. Carol politely corrects him, stating that it's actually a pecan house. The old man enters and admires the surroundings. During the discussion about selling the house, both Carol and Amanda express their desire to find suitable buyers. The old man agrees with their sentiments before requesting a cookie, which Carol warmly encourages him to indulge in. He then reveals that he relies on his Rolodex and fax numbers, rather than online listings, to sell houses. The next broker arrives and is immediately awestruck by the house's beauty. She suggests a complete overhaul of the furniture, opting for a modern minimalist style, which goes against Carol and Amanda's preferences. The woman quotes a fee of $50, but when Carol asks if it's $50, the woman clarifies that it's $50,000, leaving Amanda astonished and causing her to accidentally spill her juice on the woman. The third broker appears timid and barely speaks as he introduces himself. He sits at the table with Carol and Amanda, who inquire if he has experience selling farms. He replies vaguely, stating that he has visited many farms before, prompting Amanda to press further if he has ever sold a property. However, the man remains silent, leaving Amanda and Carol to observe his awkward behavior, including his peculiar way of drinking juice. The uncomfortable silence is broken only when the broker asks about the location of the bathroom. Amanda and Carol see their guests off at the door, bidding them farewell before Amanda turns to her aunt with a suggestion. Perhaps Carol could make some phone calls. But Carol stops her with a gentle touch, informing her of another real estate broker coming by, none other than JP himself. Amanda is surprised, questioning his presence, but JP defers to Carol, who welcomes him warmly with open arms. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, Carol reveals that she invited JP to sell the house, leaving Amanda somewhat confused. But JP soon puts her at ease, explaining that he opened his own real estate 3 years prior after his father retired. Amanda recalls seeing him at the store and JP explains that he often makes adjustments to the houses before selling them. Carol proudly informs them that JP has become one of the top real estate agents in the area. As Amanda seeks some clarity, Carol leads her niece to the kitchen for a heart-to-heart. She assures Amanda that this decision was not made to play with her emotions, but rather because JP has an impressive resume and a deep connection to the farm. Amanda, however, remembers how JP broke her heart in the past. Carol reminds her that they are adults now, urging Amanda to put the past behind her and help her sell the house to the right people. Meanwhile, JP stands before old childhood photos, lost in thought. Carol returns, letting him know that he's been hired, but she suddenly remembers she has to meet the irrigation guy and rushes off, leaving Amanda and JP alone. They stare at each other in silence, until JP breaks the ice, expressing his surprise at how quickly everything has transpired. Amanda refuses his offer of a fist bump, but JP understands. As he walks away, Amanda follows, confessing that she had no idea about Carol's plans until she arrived. JP tells Amanda that they are adults now and that there's no need for any unnecessary drama. If she doesn't want him around, he'll walk away. But Amanda surprises him by suggesting they work together for the sake of Carol, under 2 conditions. She wants to see the listing materials and ensure they sell the farm to a family with no developers. JP grins at her bossiness, but admits he wants to sell the farm to the right people too. Before Amanda leaves, JP stops her, asking her to trust him and stick to the plan this time. Amanda remarks that time hasn't made him any less smug, to which JP confirms with a smile. They part ways, hoping this collaboration won't be a mistake. The next scene shows JP and Chris loading materials into the back of a truck, chatting amiably. Chris remarks that JP didn't have to take on the task of selling Carol's house, but JP explains that she's family and it's just business. He reminds Chris that Amanda was the one who left him, and he has no desire to put himself in that position again. Chris counters that they didn't break up because they didn't love each other, but because they were on different paths. JP jokingly blames Chris's children for zapping his brain cells, leaving Chris confused and questioning his friend's honesty. In the midst of bustling activity, Amanda diligently takes out the flower pots from the back of a pickup truck, while her apologetic aunt looks on with regret at her inability to assist. Amanda reassures her aunt with a playful grin, reminding her that she is there precisely for that purpose, to lend a helping hand. She jokes about working alongside her high school ex-boyfriend, and confesses her excitement to see how things will unfold. With a determined spirit, she sets off on the truck, only to be captivated by a banner ad from JP, advertising the sale of the farm. She halts in her tracks, dismounts the truck, and deftly hides the banner with a tree branch before continuing on her way. The scene shifts to Amanda and Aunt Carol dining at a quaint and exquisite restaurant, indulging in a conversation about Amanda's future plans at work. Amanda eagerly shares about her collaboration with a colleague on a new project, hopeful that it will be well received. The duo savors the flavors of the delicious food, appreciating each bite with delight. Meanwhile, JP cruises in his car, exuberantly singing along to his favorite tunes, until he arrives at the farm and discovers his banner cunningly concealed. Fumed with anger, he storms out of his car, snatches the tree branch, and hurls it away, gazing at his reflection with a mix of annoyance and admiration. In due time, Amanda and Aunt Carol return to the farm, and Amanda is taken aback to find JP there. She confronts him, asking about his presence and the materials he has brought along. JP nonchalantly settles on the truck, explaining that he intends to do some repairs and paint the barn red. Amanda protests, recalling their agreement to keep the farm as is for the sale. JP counters, stating that they had agreed to sell it to a family who would maintain its current state, and that painting and repairs were customary before listing a property. He even adds that brown barns were considered outdated. Amanda retorts by mentioning that Uncle Jimmy and Aunt Carol got married in the very barn that JP labels as old-fashioned. JP confesses that it was Aunt Carol herself who had approved the idea of painting it red. Aunt Carol, caught in the act, tries to make a hasty exit, leaving Amanda and JP alone to exchange puzzled glances. Amanda questions Aunt Carol about JP's revelation, and Aunt Carol confesses that the barn had been red when they first purchased the property, and it was Uncle Jimmy who had made the peculiar decision to paint it brown. With the truth now revealed, Amanda walks away, leaving JP to contend with his prideful stance. JP's colleagues join him to commence the painting task with fervor, but Amanda eventually joins in as well when JP questions if she is spying on them. She explains that she wanted to check on the progress, and JP, unwilling to let go of his pride, claims that everything is under control. His friends exchange bemused looks as JP eventually caves in and invites Amanda to help. With paintbrushes in hand, they work side by side, playfully splattering paint and sharing laughter as they bring the barn to life with a fresh coat of red. As the work nears completion, Amanda suggests returning the materials to the truck, and JP teases her about admitting he was right. Amanda retorts that it's not in her nature to admit when she's wrong, but JP challenges her to recall a time when he was wrong. Amanda mischievously points out that he was mistaken in assuming he could finish the painting in one day. JP, taken aback, explains that he had come in the morning and had noticed the obstructed sign, questioning Amanda about it. But Amanda denies it with confusion, claiming that it could have been a gust of wind that carried it there. JP questions her, mentioning the stillness of the night, but Amanda insists it was slightly windy the night before. JP then informs her that he will return the next morning to capture photos for the listing, and asks Amanda and Aunt Carol to declutter and remove the family photos from the walls. At first, Amanda protests, claiming that those photos are the heart and soul of the house, and that buyers would surely want to see them. JP counters, explaining that buyers want to envision themselves living in the home, not feel like they're buying someone else's past. Amanda finally agrees, and they bid each other farewell as Amanda departs. Back in the house, Aunt Carol and Amanda pack up their belongings into large boxes. Aunt Carol remarks that Amanda and JP are getting along well today, but Amanda dismisses the notion. Aunt Carol advises her to see JP as the man he is today, not the boy he was in high school, as people change over time. But Amanda stubbornly insists that JP remain unchanged. Amanda then takes out a photo album and sits down, flipping through the pictures. Her gaze falls upon a photo of her late father, and a wave of sadness washes over her. She realizes that after selling the farm, she will no longer be connected to Pecan Hill, and she will be left alone with her parents in Florida and Aunt Carol in South Carolina. Aunt Carol, with tears in her eyes, empathizes with Amanda, admitting that she has similar thoughts. She then receives a phone call, but Amanda encourages her to answer it, and Aunt Carol walks away to speak with her boyfriend, leaving Amanda in melancholy solitude. In the next scene, Roger, JP's father, enters JP's office and invites him for a meal. JP agrees, saying he will be free shortly. Roger inquires about how things are going with Carol's farm, and JP confirms that it will be ready to be listed by the weekend. Roger then suggests inviting Amanda to their house, revealing that he and his wife have grown fond of her, much to JP's amusement. Roger reminisces about how he used to feel joy in finding and selling homes when he was working, eagerly anticipating each day in the office. He acknowledges that JP may not enjoy his current work, considering his failed baseball career, but he and his mother only want JP to be happy. JP expresses his gratitude for his father's words, and Roger leaves, waiting for him in the car. The next morning, JP sets out to capture the essence of the farm with his lens. When he frames his shot, Amanda appears by his side. Amanda questions it, and JP teases her, claiming she came to thank him for his incredible work. Amanda playfully describes him as cocky, and JP reveals that taking pictures of the unadorned land gives potential buyers an accurate view of the property. Amanda then asks about the special little nooks and crannies that make the place unique, and they head towards a water well. JP reminisces about dropping a quarter there before regionals, and Amanda recalls the good luck kiss he needed to get on the field. JP smiles, grateful that she obliged. As Amanda inquires about JP's life post-breakup and his baseball career, a melancholy tone colors his response. He reveals that he played for Memphis for a considerable time, relishing the joy of performing in front of adoring cheerleaders, until his arm failed him. Despite numerous attempts at rehabilitation, his baseball dreams were dashed, and he had to let go of his career. Amanda expresses sympathy, but JP reassures her that he is content with where he is now and wouldn't change a thing. As they meander through the stunning landscape, they arrive at a picturesque river and a verdant land. JP opens up about how returning to Pecan Hill was his backup plan if things didn't work out, and he ended up becoming a real estate agent. He admits that the job doesn't ignite the same passion in him as it did for his father, but he has made peace with it. He then turns the conversation to Amanda's job and life. Amanda shares that she has been in Winsome for a decade, and though she loves it, she reveals the challenges of dealing with a failed product line and the resistance to change within her company. JP is taken aback and questions why she would stay in a company that doesn't support product development. Amanda explains that leaving isn't easy, but JP admires her determination and drive to achieve her goals. Amanda returns the compliment, saying she sees the same qualities in him. JP disagrees, but Amanda encourages him, remarking that big people don't shy away from big challenges. Their conversation is interrupted by Aunt Carol, who asks if they are hungry and offers them pecan muffins. She goes on to explain how pecans take time to mature and yield a bountiful harvest, emphasizing the importance of patience and growth. JP then realizes he needs to attend a showing and work on open house invitations with Chris at Arnie's bar. Amanda is surprised, but JP reminds her that it was the plan from the start. He invites her to join them, and Aunt Carol enthusiastically pushes her to accept. JP takes the muffins and departs. Later that night, Amanda joins Chris and JP at the bar, and she and Chris share a warm embrace, asking each other how they're doing. Chris playfully claims victory over JP in a game of cornhole, but JP disagrees, stating that he hasn't won in ages. Chris proudly shows Amanda pictures of his children, jokingly suggesting she should babysit them. Amanda declines with laughter, and Chris heads off to put the kids to bed, promising to catch up with Amanda before leaving. Amanda chuckles, noting that Chris hasn't changed a bit, and JP concurs, saying he's only gotten weirder. The waitress arrives with a beer for Amanda and jalapenos, which JP remembers she likes, and she thanks him for the thoughtful gesture. JP then shows her the mock-up flyer for the open house, and Amanda confirms that it looks good, eagerly diving into her meal. JP is surprised at the lack of resistance, and Amanda, with a mouthful of food, explains that there are plenty of pictures of raw land. JP interrupts, clarifying that he's not inviting a battle, but he had expected it. He tells Amanda he's going to post it, but she suggests showing the pictures to Aunt Carol first. JP assures her he has blanket approval, and Amanda finally clicks and posts the flyer, as JP had asked. In the midst of the gathering, JP rises to his feet, and Amanda, with a glimmer of mischief in her eyes, implores him not to leave her side until she has bested him in a game of cornhole. They make their way to the playing area, filled with anticipation and friendly banter. As they play, Amanda inquires if JP misses baseball, to which he nods solemnly, confessing that he misses it deeply every day. She urges him to do something that reminds him of the sport, but JP explains that it's not just about the physical aspect, but also the camaraderie, the rituals, and the sense of purpose that he longs for. JP fails his final shot, and now it's Amanda's turn. With JP trying to distract her, she remains focused, determined to claim victory. And when she triumphantly gets the win, she exclaims with joy, leaping into JP's arms for a jubilant hug. He embraces her in return, and as they part, he gallantly offers to pay the bill, with Amanda playfully teasing that it will be her turn next time. The next morning, Amanda engages in a video call with her colleague Sasha, discussing work-related matters. Amanda apologizes for her lack of focus and yearning for creative inspiration. Sasha reassures her, urging her to take a rest during her vacation instead, knowing the importance of self-care. Meanwhile, JP and Chris engage in a game of baseball, with JP pitching and Chris hitting. Chris persists in asking JP about his evening with Amanda, eager for details. They switch roles, and JP confides that they had a delightful time, and he feels a stirring of emotions. JP admits that being around Amanda is wonderful, but the geographical distance between them poses a challenge. Chris proposes a challenge of their own. If JP can hit a ball past him, Chris will pick up all the balls, but if he misses, JP will take on the task. JP accepts, and Chris ends up gathering the balls, showcasing JP's prowess. At Aunt Carol's cozy abode, Amanda and Aunt Carol busy themselves with preparing delectable pies. Aunt Carol reaches for some pecan oil, but Amanda jokes that, as someone who works for an international skincare company, she could have brought her the finest creams on the market for her dry hands. In that moment, JP makes a surprise entrance, expressing admiration for Aunt Carol's culinary skills. Aunt Carol receives a call from her boyfriend, Carol, and excuses herself, leaving Amanda and JP alone. JP informs Amanda that the open house will be held the following day and reminds her to retrieve the pictures from the fridge. Amanda implores him to join her during the house tour, but JP hesitates, explaining that the owner should not be present to avoid making the potential buyer uncomfortable. However, Amanda bats her eyes at him, and eventually, he relents, bidding her good night as he takes his leave. On the morrow, JP, accompanied by a sizable group of eager buyers, strolls along the verdant farm, proudly showcasing its beauty to them. But whenever one of the buyers dares to voice an opinion or share an idea that doesn't align with Amanda's liking, she employs every possible means to dissuade them and make them flee. As the tour nears its end, only one couple remains, marveling at the farm's wonders, expressing their amazement, and promising to return with an offer after due deliberation. Later, as Amanda and JP continue their promenade, Amanda confides in him, confessing her confusion about her next steps, torn between continuing with her current company or pursuing her own brand. JP, ever supportive, urges her to trust her instincts and assures her of her unwavering capability to succeed in every venture she undertakes. He inquires if she will join the baseball match on the morrow, to which Amanda hesitates, promising to contemplate the idea, and they bid each other farewell. In the evening, before retiring to sleep, Amanda's hand cream runs dry, and she reaches for her Aunt Carol's pecan oil, applying it with care before drifting off to sleep. The following day, Amanda engages in a phone call with Sasha, discussing their future project. Amanda embraces the notion of her own brand and contemplates resigning from her current company, which seems to rely solely on past successes without evolving their strategies. Sasha is thrilled to hear Amanda's contemplation and agrees to discuss it further in due course. Just then, Aunt Carol pays Amanda a visit, informing her of the baseball game and assuring her that there will be food in the fridge if she gets hungry. After moments of contemplation, Amanda calls out to Aunt Carol, requesting that she wait. The next scene unfolds at the baseball field, where Amanda and Aunt Carol are seated on the bench. Roger, JP's father, joins them, warmly embracing Amanda as a returning player. They settle in to watch the game, the atmosphere brimming with genuine joy on this radiant day. Chris approaches Amanda, urging her to join the team, but she initially refuses. However, as Chris chants her name, the audience joins in, and Amanda eventually succumbs to their calls, joining the team with JP beaming at her with pride. The game begins, the air crackling with energy and delight. They run, throw, and collaborate, playing as a cohesive team. They laugh, they stumble, but they help each other up. When JP's team falls behind, he instructs Amanda, who heeds his guidance and scores a point, celebrating in each other's embrace. The game continues, and as a young boy on JP's team falters in striking the ball, JP approaches him, offering encouragement and guidance under Amanda's watchful eye. Finally, on the third attempt, the boy strikes the ball and dashes, scoring a point. Amanda looks on with pride and happiness for JP. As the match draws to a close, Amanda encounters Michelle, the wife of Chris. Greetings are exchanged, and the two fall into a lively conversation. Michelle takes the opportunity to mention that JP has not been in a stable relationship since their breakup. Before long, Roger steps up to thank everyone for their efforts to raise funds for the local elementary school, and he announces the MVP award. Amidst thunderous applause, Chris takes the stage to accept the honor, humorously pulling his speech from his pocket to the amusement of the crowd. The night wears on. Amanda commends JP on his exceptional performance as a team leader, inspiring and guiding the younger players. She suggests that he consider becoming a coach, but JP remains unsure. However, he pauses to apologize to Amanda, acknowledging that he didn't fully comprehend her pursuit of her own dreams in the past. In turn, Amanda apologizes for not telling him about her scholarship application. As they head outside, a fierce storm erupts. But before they can seek shelter, Amanda discovers a pecan on the ground. She rushes inside to inform her aunt, Carol, who is understandably distressed since she lacks the necessary workforce to collect the pecans. However, Amanda has an idea, and the following day, JP, Chris, and their friends join Amanda and Aunt Carol in gathering the nuts. They all work together, enjoying each other's company and savoring Aunt Carol's delicious food and drink. When Amanda and JP drive away in a pickup truck, JP confesses his suspicion that everyone is conspiring to reunite them. Amanda admits that she had not noticed it but acknowledges that it may be true. JP muses that perhaps even the majestic pecan trees are privy to the secret, sharing a conspiratorial whisper among themselves. With a twinkle in their eye, they jest about heeding the tree's advice. Leaning in for a kiss, they revel in the sweetness of the moment. But alas, the serenade is interrupted by the cacophony of car horns. Amanda's parents have arrived, and she rushes to embrace them. JP's joy is short-lived as a call from a potential buyer pierces the air, causing his face to darken, the weight of business pressing upon them. As Amanda greets her parents with warmth and affection, she also welcomes Walter, Aunt Carol's partner, into the fold. Before long, JP joins the gathering, saluting everyone, and Amanda's mother envelops him in a warm embrace. JP then asks Aunt Carol and Amanda for a moment alone to talk. They retreat inside, and JP shares the news that they have received a lucrative offer from a buyer who is ready to pay in cash, much to Aunt Carol and Amanda's delight. But their joy is short-lived as JP reveals that the buyer is a developer, which ignites a flame of anger and disappointment in Amanda. Aunt Carol, with a heavy heart, expresses that she will consider the offer, leaving Amanda seething with fury as she blames JP for not adhering to the plan of selling the farm to a family, not a developer. JP tries to defend himself, but Amanda storms away, refusing to listen to his explanations. Later that night, as the family gathers and shares laughter and memories during the last harvest on the farm, Amanda's sadness and disappointment are evident. Amidst the merriment, Aunt Carol joins Amanda, and they sit together. Aunt Carol shares her own struggle, having built the farm with her late husband and cherished memories there, but she is ready for a new beginning. She reminds Amanda that, in the end, what truly matters is family. Amanda reassures Aunt Carol that she will support her no matter what decision she makes, as her happiness is paramount. Meanwhile, JP confides in his friend Chris at the bar, his sadness palpable as he laments the only offer they received being from a developer, much to Amanda's frustration. He realizes that pursuing a job he doesn't want may cost him the woman he loves. Chris advises JP that it may be time for a change. In a tender moment, Amanda notices something special about Aunt Carol's pecan oil when she applies it to her hands. The next morning, Amanda is engrossed in her papers and computer when Aunt Carol and Amanda's mother come downstairs, curious about her actions. Amanda excitedly shares her idea of building her own brand of pecan oil-based products, and reveals her plan to invest in Aunt Carol's farm using equity from her home. The news brings joy to all, and they embrace each other tightly in celebration. Aunt Carol intends to call JP to decline the offer, but Amanda insists on doing it in person. In the final scene of the movie, JP is in his office, deep in thought when his eyes fall upon pictures of his baseball team. He smiles, grabs his phone, and walks out of the office. At the same time, Amanda is on her way to find JP, and they collide into each other. Amanda apologizes for her past behavior, acknowledging that she was holding on tightly to the past and almost missed out on present happiness. JP empathizes with her, and they share a long-awaited, passionate kiss after 17 years. JP expresses his readiness for a long-distance relationship, but Amanda reveals that she may stay a bit longer, leaving JP intrigued about her plans. They share another tender moment, locked in each other's embrace, as their love story continues to unfold. A year hence, Amanda and Sasha, with their unwavering resolve, have forged their own brand, and their products grace the shelves of markets, selling like hotcakes. Meanwhile, JP, with his unwavering determination, has realized his dream of opening a baseball training academy. As the moment of his match draws near, anticipation hangs heavy in the air, and JP stands, poised and patient, awaiting Amanda's arrival. And at last, she appears, a vision of grace, and approaches him with a smile. JP, caught off guard by her beauty, expresses his fear that she may have missed the momentous occasion. But Amanda's smile widens as she reassures him, her eyes filled with affection, that she would never miss the chance to bestow upon him a good luck kiss. And with the referee's whistle about to blow and the crowd clamoring for the match to begin, Amanda and JP share a tender kiss, heedless of the world around them, lost in the throes of a deep, passionate happiness.